So I have talked at length over the last couple weeks about how Donald Trump's poll numbers are just getting worse with every new poll that comes out. His approval rating continues to go down. His approval ratings on the handlings of certain issues, the economy, tariffs, trade, Ukraine, immigration, all of those are underwater, and they just keep getting worse with every poll. No poll is showing that any of his numbers have gone up for at least a month now. And that includes conservative pollsters. Approval ratings across the board in the toilet. But those numbers are nothing compared to a major poll that came out this week from the Public Religion Research Institute. Because this poll went a little deeper, right? They're not just asking, do you think he's doing a good job on the economy or a bad job? They asked pollsters specifically, do you view Trump as a dangerous dictator whose power should be limited before he destroys American democracy? So is Trump a dangerous dictator that is on the path to destroy our democracy? That's a pretty loaded phrase, but 52% of respondents, a majority of people, said, yes. Yes, I do think this man is a dangerous dictator. Yes, he is on the path to destroy democracy itself. Here's the breakdown. 52% agreed with the statement that I just read you. That question provided a big warning sign for Trump because most independents, 56%, agreed that Trump is a dangerous dictator, suggesting that middle-of-the-road voters who helped put him back in office are abandoning him. The survey is among those that have shown the most dissatisfaction with Trump's push for mass deportations, sweeping tariffs, more control of colleges, and firing or laying off more than 100,000 federal employees. The survey found that 83% of Republicans, a relative low number for Trump, had a favorable view of him and his actions, while 35% of independents and 8% of Democrats did. Many respondents expressed alarm over his moves to reshape government, impose the tariffs, and deport people without due process. And the numbers, when you break them down by ethnicity, get much worse for Trump and, by extension, the Republican Party. A majority of Black Americans, Latinos, and Asian Americans agreed that Trump is a, quote, dangerous dictator, compared to 45% of white Americans, a reflection of the racial divisions Trump and his actions engender in such surveys. 51% of white Americans are okay, and they believe that Donald Trump should be given the power he needs to restore America's greatness. So 51% of white people are like, hey, give him more power. And then majorities of every other ethnicity are like, no, this man's already a dangerous dictator, white people. Why can you not see that? So that is a little concerning. White folks out there like, give him more. He needs to defy more court orders. We need even less due process than the no due process we have now. We need more tariffs, and then I'll bitch about the tariffs on social media because I don't understand what I'm even asking for. Right? That's apparently, according to the survey, like that's what white people across the country are doing. 51% of them. 45% are with everybody else like, no, this guy's a dangerous dictator. And of course, that does push it into majority levels. But the 51% of white folks that are like, give him more power, that is deeply concerning. Because what Trump is doing right now is he exerting more control over colleges, right? Trying to control who gets to work there, who's allowed to protest, what they're allowed to teach you, and based on his new executive order, whether or not they can even be accredited anymore. You know, I'm just going to take it away from universities like Harvard and Yale because screw them, I don't like them. 100,000 federal workers have been laid off. Why? Because these 19-year-olds running Doge think, oh, we don't need them. And then they realize a week later, like, oh, crap, we do need them. We got airplanes falling out of the sky and blowing up on the runway. Probably need to rehire all these people. He's defying court orders. He admitted during his ABC News interview, he's like, I could get Kilmar Abrigo Garcia back. I'm just not going to do it. Which is a stark contrast to what he had said just 2 days prior when he was like, I'm not involved in any of that. I don't even know what's going on. All of this is to say that this man who is cracking down on protesters, signing executive orders, sending the U.S. military to go arrest American citizens, people view this as a dictatorship. A majority of people in this country do. And they're not wrong. That is where we are at. The military is about to come rolling down your street thanks to Donald Trump's executive order. I think we got, 87 days left on that before they finalize their plans, unless they work faster. This is a terrifying time in this country. But at least a majority of Americans understand that. Because if you had majorities out there that didn't see it, that were not concerned about it, that didn't think democracy was, on its deathbed, that would be a bigger problem. But the fact that they see it, that they have recognized the problem, that's the first step. Admitting there is a problem, right? So what do we do from here? This is going to sound simplistic and maybe even, naive, but you vote. There will be elections held before next year's midterm elections. Get out there and exercise your right to vote before you don't have it anymore. And make sure you remember that the Republican Party in D.C. is not only enabling Trump, they're protecting him. Mike Johnson is pushing forward legislation right now, Speaker of the House, to prevent Democrats from being able to launch investigations into the Trump administration. So they are, all of them, whether they speak out against him or stay quiet, doesn't matter. They're all complicit with this. Hell, at this point, they're all accomplices in this. Remember that when you vote. The Democratic Party is absolutely not perfect, but it's also not dictatorial in any way. So if you're upset about this dangerous, dictator that is a threat to democracy, just remember, he is not acting alone. He does, in fact, have the entire Republican Party behind him. So when you go to the polls, whether it's in special elections or in next year's midterms, please vote accordingly. Did you know that you might be missing out on wonderful content from me? I mean, you're here already because clearly you like what you see. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video, share them with your friends and family, but also follow me across the rest of the social media world. And it's not that hard to do. Whether it's X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, on every one of those platforms, you can find me at the username @FarronBalanced. Simple enough, right? So get on it. And if you don't feel like going to each one of those outlets individually, lucky for you, we have links in the description of this video to take you right to my pages across all of social media. So don't miss a minute. And while you're at it, make sure you're also subscribed to the Ring of Fire YouTube channel, which I have been hosting for many, many years now. We've got more than 1 million subscribers over there, and there is fresh content over there every single day of the week. So again, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to this channel, and while you're at it, go subscribe to Ring of Fire at youtube.com/The Ring of Fire and @FarronBalanced across every social media platform. That, of course, is not considered just a far-right hellscape. Well, maybe Twitter is, but that's a story for a different day.